Yesterday, Jamie and I were sitting together, and he looked at me and he's like, "Oh, baby, would you mind making me some Indian chai, please?" And I had this huge reaction. I rolled my eyes and I was just like, I had spent about 2.5 hours cooking this amazing chicken. I had been working on this blog post that I had put together where I had visited a property and stayed there in Australia for the first time. I had, been standing around and doing other stuff, and I was a little tired. And then I sat with that. Because of that huge reaction of me, rolling my eyes and having this big sigh, and I was like, why am I having this reaction, and what is it bringing up for me? So it made my body, like, I could feel like really uncomfortable, not because he had asked me to make the chai, but because I had that reaction. So I already could feel shame that I had rolled my eyes and had a physical reaction. I was also feeling like there's so many times that I ask him to make stuff for me and he makes it. I don't think he has ever said no. He might have said, yeah, maybe in an hour or something if he's busy with something. So I was already like feeling bad and everything. And then I just closed my eyes, took a few deep breaths, relaxed my shoulders, and I was like, I have gratitude that I have a partner who asks me to make things like that for him and doesn't expect me to actually spend my entire life in the kitchen. He also makes things for me without asking. Like, I don't have to ask him. Like, he just knows that I'm hungry and he'll go and make something and he'll get me something. And I also told myself that it is okay to say no, instead of feeling shame about, oh my God, no. And in general, it was interesting for me to observe myself having that experience of gratitude, of myself wanting to drink some Indian masala chai, because who doesn't love Indian masala chai? At the end of I took deep breaths. I was focusing on where I could feel the shame in my body, where I could feel the past stories that related to a woman being in the kitchen, because I saw my mom in the kitchen most of her life, and I decided for myself that I would never be in the kitchen and fuck that shit. I do, go to the kitchen and cook stuff, of course, and I have done that my whole life, but it wasn't something where I was like, oh, I know how to cook. Like, it was like, whatever, everyone should know how to cook. So I had all these stories and I still have them and I work with them. And it took me about a couple of minutes, and then I took another deep breath, opened my eyes, I looked at Jimmy and I said, yes, baby, I would love to make you chai. Not only was I just, and I could feel the difference where it wasn't just me saying that, yes, I'll make you chai. Like, I was happy to make him chai. I was happy to be able to know something that I can do for my partner that, is unique and different, where he doesn't really know how to make chai like that. And I can do that for him. So there was gratitude for a bunch of things. And it was interesting because Jamie always keeps saying that, you can just shift your thoughts, you can change your thoughts. And I used to be always like, yeah, but that sounds like fake. It doesn't sound like I'm actually changing my thoughts. It sounds like I'm forcing myself to change my thoughts because my subconscious is running a different program. And here I am telling my brain that no, that's not what we get, this is what we are going to do. And or telling my brain like, fuck those thoughts, like, we're going to change those thoughts. It never really like kind of worked for me. But I think yesterday was the first time that I actually observed myself and I was aware of myself having that experience. What I have realized in general is that when we want to make such changes, I don't know about everyone, but for me, I need to slow down in my life, in my external reality. When I make the chai, for example, it's not like, oh, milk and like tea leaves and like sugar. It's like, okay, I'm opening the bottle of milk, I'm pouring the milk. This is how much the milk should be. Oh my God, the milk smells delicious. It looks wonderful. Gratitude for the cow that where the milk came from. And even now, when I'm saying that, there's a part of me is like, which is my brain, the thoughts are like, oh my God, people are going to think I'm nuts, because who does that? Who has the time for that? But in reality, that is what I am working with currently and the things that I am trying to practice right now. And it doesn't always come easy to me because I have led such a hustle life, especially back in India, where it was constantly go, 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 one thing after the other, going to an event, coming back, doing this, doing that, clothes in the washing, getting dressed, leaving again, cab. Like, it was like there was no time to actually slow down and sit down with myself. And not that there was no time, it was like I didn't want to make time because I feel like I was so uncomfortable just with the thought of me spending time with myself. and getting to know who I am. And now I have that opportunity, and I'm really grateful for a partner like Jamie. And I'm also really grateful for me to be in a place where I'm open to these things now. But yesterday, that thing was like, I watched it happen in real time inside myself and outside myself. And, my mood was great. I didn't get pissed off. I did not carry any resentment. I was happy to make the chai. I was happy to share the chai with him. And at some level in my head, the voice in my head is like, yeah, but that's like super basic. What is it that you're doing with this video? Why are you telling this to people? They're just going to think you're nuts. But I still feel like this is important for me to be able to record this and to be able to have a reference point in case in the future I need to refer to something. I have this example of something that I did, and it just kind of allowed me to look at my thoughts or my mind in a different way, where I realize I can shift my thoughts consciously and be aware of myself doing that. And it's encouraged me more to do it more in the future, basically. I don't know if this is of help to anyone, but Jamie has really helped me, and I have been, in that sense, become like I hate labels. So, spiritual seeker, really, I don't really know what I'm seeking except inner peace. And for my, your internal world reflects your external reality. And I'm trying to now play with those things and see how I can change my external reality based on my inner world. So, I don't know if that makes sense, but if it does, I would love to know what, any of you have been going through, or the things that have worked for you, and how you shift your reality or shift your perception or have a paradigm shift of your perceptions and your thoughts, and what you do to break out of that endless loop that goes on in your head. I would really love to know, because sometimes I feel that Jamie, the language he speaks is sometimes something I don't understand, because I come from an extremely skeptical, simple, practical kind of background. Whereas he, I feel, has gone more into the mysticism and the esoteric. And sometimes, he says things and I don't really understand them in terms of how you would apply that in real life. So I think that yesterday's incident felt like a bridge between the two worlds. And I'd love to know if any of you have anything to share. Thanks for listening. Bye.